Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. Football season is here, and it's just started. We're talking with the coach of the Dunbar Wildcats, Coach Todd Lawson. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir. How you doing this morning?
I am doing great and glad to talk to you. We got another season for you, and I tell you what, we have so much to talk about. So, folks, put your seatbelt on because we got a lot to talk about with Coach Lawson. You opened up the season, but before you did, who did you guys get a chance to scrimmage against this year?
We scrimmaged. We went up and scrimmaged against Ponder. We had them as our first scrimmage, and then since we didn't have Eastern Hills on the schedule this year due to us going down to that Division 2, we had the second scrimmage against them.
Wow, I just saw a story about Ponder. They got a girl that's the center.
Yeah, yeah, and they put up some numbers this past week against Venus. They beat Venus 61-0 or something like that. So they the coach got a. Coach Schultz have them headed in the right direction and things like that. So they're gonna be pretty, they'll be pretty good.
All right. Well, they did change you. So who's in your district now?
Okay, now I have Glen Rose who lost in the semifinals last year. I have Golly, they went 3 rounds deep. I have Fort Benbrook, then I have Venus, I have Hillsboro, and then us. So we only have a 5-team district. So that well, a 6-team district, and they end up making us have a 5 game preseason, which was good. So
All right, gotcha. Is Kennedale still on the schedule?
yes, we have Kennedale as a preseason. We're not in the same district with them this year, but we kept them on as a preseason game, which is good to kind of keep them tough because really our preseason is really tough, man. We got some tough games in there, but it'll prepare us for district.
All right. So you open up against Wilmer Hutchins.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes,
Coach Barrett?
oh yeah, Coach Barrett over there, and he's there, and he's doing a good job. Like I said, we end up losing that one, 29-22. We gave up some special team big plays and things like that. And like I told the kids, we beat them in every aspect of the game except on the scoreboard. And that happens, and I hate for it to happen, but I'd rather it happen that first game so we can look at the mistakes that we made, and we did, and the guys did a good job. They kept fighting. We had even though we gave up a couple of touchdowns on special teams, we had a couple of touchdowns called back where the kids fought back. So we had a couple of them called back on some little tic-tac fouls and things like that, penalties. So you just have to roll with the punches, and we just going to improve from that.
Who is your quarterback? Is it the young man that was your starter last year?
Yes, sir. It's Marcus. So Marcus coming around. He did real well in our scrimmages and things like that. So it's still a little. We had some again. He was able to throw the ball pretty good. JD Jamari, and he ran the ball real well. He had well over 100 yards rushing, and Marcus, we just got to make the plays when they're right there. Before we had a couple of missed throws and things, not even under pressure. So like I just told him, man, just go back to your mechanics and everything will come in place. So like I say, we're at a point now. We know we got some growth to do. The defense played very well. Because they blocked a few kicks, caused a few fumbles. So the defense playing real well. So we just gotta, on the offensive side, we just gotta do our part.
Gotcha. Now let's talk about your defense. Who do you have on your roster? Tell us who you got.
On that defense, we're still saying they're young. There are a lot of juniors, but they played as sophomores. But one of the main guys that are out there that's making plays, it was there last year, that's a senior this year, is such a Jacorian Johnson, number 40. He plays at outside linebacker. He's a playmaker, good size. There's some colleges that are looking at him. And then we have another senior defensive tackle, which is Key Money Moore, which has been starting for since his junior end of his freshman year. So he's doing real well too. So and those are only 2 seniors that we have on that defensive side of the ball. So they're doing real well. They got some guys. You guys got some younger guys and in there, and most of them already do have experience. The secondary is pretty young. They gave up 1 big play on that side, but like I told him, that's just fighting for the ball. You're right there in the position to make the play. You just got to fight for it. So that defense is going to be coming around real well.
All right. Well, the game this week is on Thursday, and you're taking on Coach Zach and the Wyatt Chaparrals. So what has Coach Zach got going on this year?
Zach gonna always, man. He always have big play capabilities. He got another young quarterback that's coming up. That's a real good athletic. They had a good one last year, and they got another one now. He's a lot more athletic. Well, he'll run out of that pocket, and he likes throwing the long ball. They did lose the first game to Wichita Falls Memorial, which that's who we play after we play ODY. And like I was telling Zach, I said a lot of those kids we scrimmaged against them when they was at Wichita Falls Hershey, and I say, man, that's not your run of the mill first varsity team that you're going to be playing. They got some good guys, good size. They're physical and things like that. So, but Wyatt, I think Wyatt ended up losing like 40-20 or something like that. Just kind of warmed down a little bit, and so we got Zach. So we know we got to go in there, be ready for another barn burn. It's going to be a battle, but we'll be ready for it.
What stadium will that game be at?
That game will be at Clark Stadium, 7:30 on Thursday.
That's good. I like playing at Clark, so that's going to be really good. By the
Mm-hmm.
way, we got to take this time to recognize your coaching staff. I know you had some more changes and everything, so tell us who your offensive coordinator is and your DC and everybody on that.
Okay, I start on the offensive side. Offensive coordinator is still Darius White, which is one of my former players. But I also had Coach Robert Blaze, who was my offensive coordinator for for the many years. He's back, and I
Really,
think that's
Coach Blaze?
yes. So
All
that's
right.
that's gonna be a big incentive to be there to kind of help Darius through those through those times and things like that. Because Blaze is a very knowledgeable guy, very good. He was with me for a long time, won a lot of games with him. So I know what Blaze brings to the table. He'll be doing that and working with the running backs as well. I have Coach Brewer, which we're working with the receivers. I have Coach Spruhan. That's our varsity line coach, and I have Coach Racky. That's our sub varsity and film guy, O-line guy. And that's pretty much it on the offensive side. Now, the defense, I still got my long-time defensive coordinator, Coach Mario Hill, which is the D-line guy, and he got them really humming like he normally do. The linebacker, one of my younger coaches, he's in his third year at Dunbar, which is Roderick Harris. He's doing a great job as well. My defensive back coach is Coach Rodney Anthony. This is his second year. He's doing real well, and then Coach Fry is still coming in and helping as much as he can with the corners and things like that. So, so we got a pretty good coaching staff, man. And now we just gotta, like we're just telling our kids, now we just gotta settle down. And when we watch the film on Saturday, just trying to relate to them to get them to understand that what you see on film is what we be explaining to you when we at the games and stuff like that. So you just have to take that criticism and being coachable, and we move on to the next. And I think that they really got some of the kids, because some of them are young, some of them are young. So we were showing them on film, and then this is what your coach was saying to you. Now you see the difference, and now we just got to correlate that and translate that to the game, and in order to make the needed adjustments and things like that, and we'll be fine. We're gonna be fine. And I still think we're gonna have we're gonna be pretty good after everything kind of settle down, the dust settle, and guys calm down. And as long as we can stay healthy. I know we lost Bam. Bam gonna be he ended up hyperextending his knee against Wilmer Hutchins, so he'll be out a little bit. So that kind of hurts us. Hurts us with the more of a skill at the speed receiver, and then he was somebody that we know that could relieve JD. So, but we had to bring up another young receiver that's pretty talented. We bringing him up a little bit too soon, I feel like, but he's gonna get in, and we know he's capable of doing some big things. So we'll be fine.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen right now because I just changed my backdrop. But we got
Okay.
college night coming up, and you know how important it is. And this is what Fort Worth
Oh,
ISD
yeah.
is doing. It's going to be on Tuesday, September the 17th at Will Rogers from 6 to 8 p.m. And the reason why, we have to do this now because, Coach, you and your lovely wife, y'all got a two-time state champion. And, and I know you just left the driver's license place.
Yeah.
And these gray hairs, you don't want to be like me, had to cut it all off.
I'd rather be like that, because I'm gonna be white haired anyway. Good gracious, but yeah, she wear everybody, so she got a license, so she went and got that. So she thinks she's ready to drive, but she's been driving, so she's doing well. So that's a whole nother story.
Now, what grade is she? A sophomore or junior? I mean, wait,
No,
is she a
no, this is a
junior or senior?
senior. It's a senior year. Yes.
This is it. This is it. Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
this is it. Yeah, yeah. I tell her, boy, and I told her, boy, I said, I can't wait till you go to college. Good gracious.
So
And
anyway, we got this up now because we want to remind our young people about going to college. Dunbar's been sending athletes not only from football but education. They've
yeah,
been coming up here to Oklahoma. They've been going to Langston, man.
yes, yeah, yes.
So,
Yeah, we got, and that's the thing, I always tell them, man, yeah, hey, once you're done here, just give me 5 years. I always tell them that. And I
yeah,
know that you'll understand what I'm saying. If they can just give me 5 years, we can keep them off paper for 5 years, then we
yeah.
pretty much got a good start. We got a good start. These young men, and especially these young minority men, if they can stay off that paper for 5 years after they graduate high school, they got a good shot at, having a really, really good life, good life. It could be some stumbles in the road, but, just kind of keep them off paper where they can kind of go out and achieve and get off the things that they want. So.
I got you. So we want to remind, hey, parents, if they didn't tell you, you go up to school, you go ask them, when's college now? I got to get this boy,
Yes.
I got to get this girl out of here.
And
Don't,
yeah,
don't.
yeah. And actually, I know we'll have buses coming from the school, so they'll feed them, give them pizza and stuff before they leave to make sure that we can load those buses up. And it doesn't matter how many kids we get, as many as we can get, they load up on those buses and go. And so I know I have a lot of the athletes. They'll go because that's a good day on that day. I already got in my mind, we're gonna practice that morning, so they'll have that whole evening to themselves. So there's no rushing and things, Some and I understand a lot of them feel guilty because they have to leave their teammates and stuff like that. So I just kind of move it to that morning where they don't have to have that on their heart, and they just go in. This is for life after Dunbar.
I got you. That's what it's all about. Now, we got to talk about something else. You got the phone call, and you and Johnny Muhammad had to go somewhere that no man really wants to go unless they have to. But you got the phone call, and I want you to close out and tell us about your experience, Coach Lawson.
Okay, it was a great experience, and you know as well as I know, when you get to those gates and things like that, that's something that I've fought all my life, and I talk to my kids about trying to fight because that's something that I never wanted to end up there. But when I was asked to go there, it was a program that they were doing, and they wanted to talk with men who was basically on the outside that was filling the void. And that void that we were feeling is the young people, men, and young girls, young women, young men who have parents that are incarcerated.
Yeah.
And how was we feeling? And basically, we were just letting them know that they're needed when they do get out. Please get out and do what you can do to be helpful, and whatever you can do to help your young kids. We understand people make mistakes and things like that, and I talk to the kids like that. Hey man, I understand. I understand. Hey, I was just blessed,
Yeah.
blessed, not to be put in those type of a situations, and but to go down and to talk to them and see those men changing their lives and things like that, and then talking to guys out of Houston, San Antonio, man, Fort Worth, all three of them guys I hadn't seen in so long. They ran up to me, at the end because basically you was in they call it their chapel, but it's more like a gymnasium, and and this was so scary about it. I got to thinking about it. I said, I don't even remember seeing a correctional officer in there. And
Yeah.
you know, but only time I saw one, it was a woman when they had some women that went up and they spoke and things like that. And they kind of, it was like three women came up on the side, but there was well over 200 men that was in there.
Wow.
So that was a good thing. And you see guys talking, and they kind of talked about the mistakes that they made on the outside. And you're talking with guys like I talked with one young man, and out of Dallas, North Dallas, and he's getting out in January. So me and Muhammad, you talked with Muhammad about some things, and Union Pacific is doing some things with convicted felons and things of that nature. So just kind of give them something that they can grip on, because man, they're gonna come out of there with their hearts open, and looking to do better, man. And we have to make sure we have something in place, man, to help them out, man, because it's a cruel world out there if you have no one to turn to.
Yeah, you're right about that. Well, I want to say thank you for sharing your post. I was reading it and everything, and I see a lot of people have commented. Stephen Johnson, Rosie Neal Willis, your
Yeah.
lovely wife, Evelyn. And then I saw your sister. I forgot to tell you, I saw your sister. I went to
Oh
Memphis.
yeah, Memphis. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
We was there at a course at the Gospel Music Workshop of America, and your sister was right there, man, Belinda Smith Lamb, and she saw me,
Uh-huh.
I saw her, and I gave her a hug and everything, and I told her, I said, I'm not going to be able to go back and forth to Texas like I normally do because God has
Yeah.
called me to do some great things here, but the most important thing is being able to do some great things. So I just want to just tell you, that's what we got to do. I'm also
Yeah.
going to share this deal on Facebook, and I'm going to do this right now. But we have to look out for our own. If we don't do it, we see this picture right here, this beautiful young lady. That's your heart and soul right there.
Oh yeah.
I almost called you pastor, but coach, I mean,
There's a bunch of them in the family, but no, I'm not one.
so we got to look out for our own, coach. We got to do
Yeah.
it.
Oh
You know,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I, I always tell people, don't worry about. There you are, right there.
Yeah. 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 She had her nails did and her hair and all that. And I'm looking at her like, yeah, she didn't show me that until that morning. So I'm
Yeah.
looking at her and I'm like, wait a minute now, baby, hold on. That's the part of she. You know what? And one thing about it, I guess that comes from being around me. As long as she does it in a respectful manner, and
Yeah.
she wanted to like dolly herself up. I'm like, well, baby, what you gonna do come prom? And that's what I expect to see then. But hey, like I tell, as long as you're doing it in a respectful manner, and me being a man, I have explained to her the difference in
Yeah.
how men look at things and stuff like that. So, and she's picked up on it real well and things like that. And I see you got a star behind you too, right there.
That's my niece Autumn.
Uh-huh.
You see
So
how.
that's the one you've been telling me about.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm taking care of her. I mean, this morning I didn't oversleep, but I got my phone here. She called me
Uh,
6 times. She said, "Uncle Cedric, I got to be in there at a certain time. We're never late, and we always make it on time." And I
yeah.
and I share these stories to let you. And you see right now, I'm wearing this. I got picked up in my hometown now here in Oklahoma
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
announcer. But sometime you might just see me down there. I'll call you and let you know. But we can
Sure.
still make this happen and be there for our family and for our friends.
Yeah.
We can make this happen. But coach, I want to say thank you for being with me on today. And I want you to share the closing comments because we got the game on this Thursday against, of course, the Fort Worth ODY Chaparral 7:30 Clark Stadium. You get the closing comments, coach.
Okay, really, I'm just looking for us to rebound. Just a good chance for, like I say, we got a good team. We got to make the plays, stay healthy, and make the plays because, like I tell them, this is a growing process. Because my objective is to make our run after we get through with districts and then to the playoffs. Like I told the guys, I want to be playing well after Thanksgiving. So we just got to just keep plugging. I think we'll be able to get wide this year because we got some good pieces there that we can put out there on that field, and we just got to go out there and play, man. And I also want to say thank you to you, Sid, because you've been doing a lot of great things for us, and I know you've been burning up that highway and things like that, and being blessed to be able to burn up that highway because, man, you have to be under some special care, man, because that stuff is dangerous, and you know. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be careful on that highway and things like that. So I really understood where you was coming from and things like that, man. But I was very blessed to have you for that many years, man. That you
12
supported
years,
us.
coach.
You
12 years. That's a long
yeah,
time.
man. That you supported us. You've been there, and
And still there.
yeah,
And still
yeah.
there.
And I'm very grateful because I know I could pick up that phone at any time and call you and things like that. So
Well, what
I
I'm
may
going
pop,
to do is I'm
I
going
may
to
pop,
make a,
I
I'll
may
make
pop
a
up in
game.
Ardmore one day. So
Yeah. Let me know, but that's what it is. And man, because it's crazy out here. This whole world is
yeah,
full of
yeah,
drama. You were blessed to have a father and a mother in your life.
yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I tell you what, no matter you're never too big, no matter what, with your dad. And here's the thing I liked about your dad the most. They came through a time period, they wore suits and they wore
yeah,
nice hats. You know what I mean?
yeah, Yeah.
dressed with pride, and the Lord has blessed you to have a great family. And shout out to your brother Lonnie. I think they play on Monday
He's
night.
still hanging around.
Yeah.
He ain't in jail, so he good. No,
Oh,
but
we
no,
got
he's working. So I'll see him. I'll see him this afternoon. And again, the thing about it, he understands. He understands the importance of having those males around, and what he kids can just understand, man. There is people out there in that world that curse for you, and they there to help you, and they there to help when you want to be helped. And all it takes is being humble. Most of the time, it's just being humble. Being humbled, and people love that. People don't have a problem with putting their hand out to help.
well, when is homecoming? I need to know when that is.
Now, homecoming to be October the 11th. That's we have Kennedale. We have Kennedale. Then we got that bye week, which that bye week, that Saturday will be the parade, and then we have Benbrook on the 11th, October the 11th at Clark Stadium. So we plan on having a big, great festivity theme, man, for that. So be prepared. If you can make it, that'd be great.
All right, we got to close out. I'll be a Wildcat. Who be you?
I'll be a Wildcat too. Who?
Thanks a lot, Coach Lawson, so much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Cedric.